create new generations. From tiny seeds to blossoming flowers, the story of how plants reproduce is both complex and captivating. Our next presenters will guide us to this natural marvel, revealing the amazing ways plants ensure their survival and growth.
At the forefront of this exploration is Pamalika Vidma, leading a team ready to share their knowledge and enthusiasm with us. Please join me welcoming the Nova Thinkers as they bring the fascinating world of plant reproduction to life. Let's give them a big round of applause.
And my dear brothers and sisters, just think, what if plants invented divorce before marriage? The strawberry's fiancé ran off with a potato. Today's scandal, vegetative propagation, nature's ultimate betrayal. Plants have two love lives. Sexual, a chaotic wedding where bees fight over pollen. Or asexual, cloning. That potato's Vegas elopement created evil twins. Oh, they are 100% identical and 100% trouble. But wait, this strawberry's a skateboard? Baby? This isn't just a runner. It's parental journey of... But wait, the strawberry's baby is potato's child. This runner isn't just a baby. It's 0% paperwork and 100% DNA proof. Naturally, spider plant kicks out pups like rebellious teens. But here's the twist. We are the real matchmakers. We divorce plants and remarry them, and they create Frankenstein grafted monsters. So, plants cheat, disobey, and betray. But what if they clone awake? But what if they stop obeying us and used to whisper to each other? And what if they weave their roots and make a one network and rise as one? Next, Hassan will explore the biological symphony of clone uprising.
Let me tell you about the short story of a garden where plants had secrets. They could grow without seeds. They used their own body parts to make new plants. So let's meet some of them. First came root heroes. Some plants like sweet potatoes use their own roots to produce new plants. These specialized roots can store food, and they had tiny buds that could sprout into fresh shoots. It's like growing up a new plant from an underground treasure. Then came leaf magicians. Plants like biofillers had magical leaves. Tiny baby plants that grew on the edges of their leaves. When they fell onto the ground, they get started to grow by their own. It's like green surprise. Then came sucker shooters. Banana plants were experts at this. They sent out suckers. New shoots formed from the base of the plants. These suckers became strong plants and standing right next to their parents. It's like growing a family from side by side. Next came, and finally runners came. The strawberry plants were the explorers of their garden. They sent out runners. Long stems growing across the garden. These long stems growing across the garden. When runners touch the soil, there's a new strawberry plant pops up. It's like planting without plant. So in this garden, seeds weren't the only way to grow new plants. These clever plants use their roots, leaves, suckers, and runners to make new life by their own self. So, to present the artificial vegetative propagation, I invite my friend.
What is artificial vegetative propagation? Artificial vegetative propagation is when humans make different hybrids of different plants. For example, rooting. The branch, stem, or leaf is cut from a plant and then covered with soil. Soon, a new plant forms. Many plants like Acapana or rose is used. Rose plants are planted by this. Similarly, flaring. The branch still connected to the plant is lowered to the ground and covered with soil. Jasmine plants are often planted like this. Then thirdly, grafting. The root part from one plant and another stem, a shoot part is connected together and then get a hybrid. Mango producers use this to obtain large yields of different types of mangoes. And lastly, we have tissue culture. This is a far more advanced concept. This is often used in labs. A small tissue from a plant like banana is added to a nutrient medium and then grown into plants, which will give a lot of different types of fruits in the large yields. Now I'm going to give the stage to Imanya to continue on the presentation with the subject of sexual reproduction of plants.
Every love story has a stage. And in plant, that stage is the flower. It's not just only for the beauty, it's actually the very heart of the plant covers. First of all, let's see what are the parts of the flower. Mainly we have four parts called carpel, stamen, gynoecium and the androecium. First, the calyx. Calyx is the green color leaves like petals at the outside. Their job, protection. They guard their flower bud until they are ready to come out. And next we have the corolla. Corolla are the petals. They are colorful, attractive, sometimes even fragrant. You could say they are the fashion models of the flowers. Yes, because they are wearing bright outfits, catch the attention, and even invite some visitors like bees, butterflies, and even the wasps. And next comes the androecium, the male part of the flower. It contains two parts and the filament. Filament is its top like a handle, and anther is the top, and anther is the box on the top where pollen grains are made. So basically, the androecium is the gentleman of the flower which produce pollen, which are the love letters of the flowers. And next we have the gynoecium, the lady of the flower. It contains three parts: stigma, style, and ovary. The stigma is the top where it's sticky like glue, where catch the pollen. And the style, a tube like a pathway. And ovary is the base where all the pollen grains are made. And so the gynoecium is the male part which are waiting for the arrived pollen's love letters. So in short, the calyx are the parents who are strict parents, and the corolla is the petals wearing beautiful outfits. The lady, who's the lady? The lady is the gynoecium, which contains three parts: and the other boy is the androecium of the flower. So remember, all together they are make the perfect love story, which are not written in novels but in the flowers. And also remember, the flowers are the nature's most romantic stage.
Thank you, Ivana. Do plants have love life? Well, they do. And they have a better love life than the humans. Today, I'm going to explain to you about the different types of plants, flowers in sexual reproduction. There are two types in sexual reproduction. It is unisexual flowers and bisexual flowers. First, let's start with unisexual flowers. These flowers have only male parts or female parts, not both, and they are like a friend, a single friend at a party, saying, "I'm waiting for my perfect match." And the corn, watermelon, and papaya are some of examples for unisexual flowers. And according to that, there are two parts in unisexual flowers. There are stamen flowers and pistonate flowers. Normally, stamen flowers are boys and the pistonate flowers are girls. And they want to combine together and they want to search a love from outside. And next, bisexual flowers. Bisexual flowers have both male and female parts. So they are multi-characters. And the hibiscus and rose are some of examples for it. Now, let's learn about the monoecious plants and dioecious plants. The male part and female flowers are located. Both are inside the dioecious plants, like papaya. And it can be defined as the flowers which have both male and female flowers. And monoecious plants have only one part. It means male flower or female flower. We can find different trees like coconut and date plum tree are some of examples for monoecious plants. And monoecious plants can be classified as monoecious plants are coconut and plant, tree, and that's how plants relationship is going. Now I invite Numan to move on the next chapter of the presentation.
Thank you, Vinara. So, like we discussed earlier, we already know about the parts of the flower, the sexual structure, and calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium, right? So then, the androecium gametes, the male gametes are the androecium, and the anther produce them. So, in overall, I will be discussing about the pollination, the fascinating part in the next stage of the sexual structure. Story time. Actually, in a small scale garden, there was a small flower which was lonely and she has delicate petals and also sweet fragrance, also which was sweet. She was quite introvert, and her name was Luna. She preferred to rely on herself rather than just others. So one day there was this mysterious bee flying over them, and it was carrying pollens from other flowers. As Luna was a flower, but she doesn't accept them as she has the ability of self-pollination, like we hear, self-pollination. So she uses it for her own advantage. Then days pass, her petals begin to drop, and her skill grows stronger. So then, and also she prepared for next stage of her life cycle. Able of self-pollination, she was able to ensure her own survival and propagation. Many days passed, and her seeds began to mature, and they were suddenly dispersed away, creating new offspring, just like spreading her legacy forward. And then it was a garden for home of all many flowers, just like this, which bearing which bear the same genetical traits of the Luna. So in the end, Luna's story teaches us about self-sufficiency and independence. By relying on herself, she was able to thrive and spread her beauty throughout the garden. So in this story time, we are already ensured that the self-pollination can be done on one flower, and that one flower, the Luna was able to pollinate and produce offsprings and more food and nectaries. Okay, story time. It was pollination. Think about there we can see the white flower. Two of flowers in pollination, namely Aurora and the Leo. The Aurora has delicate petals and a sweet fragrance, where Leo has both of colors and a skin which is sweet. As they sway in the breeze, bees, butterflies, flittered between them, transferring pollens. This exchange of pollens allow Aurora and Leo to cross-pollinate, making new offsprings, and overall as seasons passed, the garden was flourished with new flowers, and also the flowers with very distinct features, own distinct features. And then there we can ensure that the cross-pollination had already had been introduced a new part where self-pollination is only allowed for the one petal, one flower to produce its own fruit and own pollens. The cross-pollination is essential. There's two flowers, and there we satisfy that self-pollination and cross-pollination are two different variations in pollination process. So in the end, the story, the Leo and Aurora, the beauty, the garden's beauty and the biodiversity is garden's beauty and biodiversity is a testament for the have been learning Imani for the next adaptations to clarify your problems regarding it.
Pollination and promoting genetic diversity thought cross-pollination. Some are including like dichogamy, self-incompatibility, and heterotype and monocy and diversity. So first, I would like to introduce about dichogamy. Dichogamy is between two things that can be different from each other, and as the other thing is self-introduction. So in that, it is we can give examples for that course. Fine roses and Lucian to that. And thirdly, we can say about monocyte, and it is separately male and female plant in the flower. We can give examples for that, cones and last, I would like to get about diversity. It is about some thing in the plant, both male and female part in the same plant. So we can give examples for holly and Jigo, Balulu, and for that, I would like to give the stage for Kavita to continue this wonderful journey.
So, have you ever wondered if we live in a world without the flowering plants, animals, or seeds? No, right? Because you don't have to, because they exist, basically. And for their existence, there is a small but powerful process which is called pollination. So, simply, this pollination means the transfer of pollen grains from a flower from an anther to a stigma. And since these plants, they can move on their own, so they use special agents to help them reproduce. I'm going to talk about two such agents, that would be animals and wind. So, just imagine a bee like in this video, going in a flower field, going from flower to flower, sucking all the nectar in those flowers. So this bee, without even realizing, it becomes a natural messenger of the nature. You may ask how? So, this bee, when it's going from flower to flower, pollen grains gets attached to its body. And then, when the bee delivers those pollen grains from flower to flower, helping those animal pollinated plants to reproduce. In this way, animals like bees, butterflies, birds, and even bats help plants to reproduce. And these animal pollinated plants, they have very special characteristics, such as they have very big petals, they are in very bright colors, they have a nice smell, and they are very full of nectar. This all just to attract these animals. It's those flowers' way of saying, hey, come visit me. And next, let's look at wind-pollinated flowers. These wind-pollinated flowers, they have a quite different process. They don't waste their energy on facts like the flower being very big or very bright colored. Their wind-pollinated flowers, they are just very plain, small, and very simple. But they have a very large number of light pollen grains. With the wind, these millions of pollen grains get blown away by the wind and they land on another flower stigma. So this is how agent wind help plant pollinate. So in simple, animal pollination makes it very precise, like a careful messenger, whereas wind pollination makes it powerful but random, like a nature's lottery. So
Without these two agents, plants won't be able to reproduce on their own. And here's a fun fact. Without plants reproducing, there won't be life on Earth. So now I invite Pamela to talk about the next agent, water. Once upon a time, a pollen is transferred